Like, honestly, tell me, who doesn't like vampires? Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are reviewing the adult fiction novel The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. This is a dystopian story that takes place in our world and that follows a 17-year-old girl named Allison who lives amongst vampires. Vampires are known to the world. And 6 decades ago, there was a disease named red lung disease that almost wiped out all of the humans. And from this disease sprung what they call the rabbits, which are corpse-like evil vampires that can transmit and transform you into one of them if they just bite you, and they can also turn animals. So the human societies, the human race has fallen, and in order to protect the humans from complete extinction, the vampires have taken control and they have raised walls around very specific cities to keep out the rabbits and to keep the humans in. And they control everything from food to lack of education because they want to keep the humans dumbed down so they can't rise and rebel. So the human race has no choice but to turn back into a barbaric stage where everyone fends for themselves and they don't mind killing each other over scraps of food because there is very little food. Allison hates vampires with burning passion and has had to fend for herself for years because her mother died of the red lung disease. And because food is running so low, she decides to go outside the city walls to scavenge for food and is attacked by a rabbit. And along comes a vampire who gives her the option to either die completely or become one of them. And despite her hatred for vampires, she decides to agree and becomes a vampire. And now she is the exact thing that she hates the most in life. And all of this happens within the first 35 pages of the book. So at first I really liked this novel because I thought, wow, they're getting to the point really fast, and it was super suspenseful. Her attack by the rabbit kind of like made my heart beat super fast. And it's nice that the character of Allison is pretty badass throughout the entire book. I actually really like that Allison drops her convictions when she's about to die because that's such a human thing to do. Like, if we were minutes away from dying, would we stick to our convictions or would we change them if we knew it was gonna save our life? I also really like reading about the fallen cities, like what the ruins look like, because she's never been to school, she's never been outside her city walls, and technology is not a thing that humans are allowed to have access to anymore. She doesn't know what a hospital was, she doesn't know what a car was, so when she steps outside the city and sees all these ruins, she's baffled by what we used to do with them, and that was a really cool concept. And then the story fell flat, and that makes me so mad because I love vampire stories so much, but there were so many plot holes that I couldn't get past, and Allison makes the dumbest fucking decisions that are just so upsetting. Like, I feel like for someone who hated vampires so much, she handled her transformation very well. Like, too well. If I were turned into the one thing that I hate most in life, I would be angry, I would cry, I would scream, I would be upset at myself for making such a weak decision, but not Allison. She thinks about it being upsetting, but then her very first lesson by her mentor is to go out and feed, and she's just like, okay. Apart from her transformation, honestly, there was almost no thrill to this book for almost the entirety of the 443 long pages, and it was predictable too. There are super long stretches where she's just walking around alone and nothing happens, and that's pages after pages. Then some things happen to her that are just so convenient, like she is tired of being alone and she infiltrates a group of humans who just happen to walk around at night and sleep during the day. Like, how convenient is that for a vampire? And it's just always like that. Things happen that are convenient for a vampire. And the dialogue was so childish. It made me cringe for half the book. I was just expecting a new outtake on vampires, and it seems like every aspect of this book was taken directly from other stories we've already seen and read. There was just nothing original about this book. The plot had a lot of potential, but I feel like too much was condensed into one story. It was basically 30 Days of Night / The Walking Dead / I Am Legend. And again, the writing didn't portray any excitement at all. I personally will never say no to reading a vampire story, but this book needed more creative elements for it to stand out to me, and it didn't have a single one. I've never considered DNFing a book before, except this one. And then 100 pages away from being done, and I just powered through, but I can tell you that I will not be continuing with this series, and I give this a 2 out of 5. So this is it for my review of The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa, and I will catch you guys during my next video. Bye!